Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. So, interesting comments from Israil Madrimov. Of course, Israil Madrimov will face Terence Crawford on August 3rd, live from the BMO Stadium, Los Angeles, California. This will be the first Riyadh card on U.S. soil, and many are calling this card the greatest card in U.S. history. Well, that remains to be seen, depending upon how they perform. But let's talk about it. We know that, of course, with a little over a week to go until this fight occurs, they're making the rounds to talk about the fight. We saw Terence Crawford recently on MMA Hour and a number of other YouTube platforms or social media platforms, if you will. And recently, we've seen Israil Madrimov on some of these platforms as well. Now, of course, Israil Madrimov is less well known than Terence Crawford, and so a lot of the things that he is saying goes unnoticed. As a matter of fact, this particular interview that I found as I was perusing YouTube is actually from a very small channel that I had never heard of prior to this Israil Madrimov interview. So I do want to play the comments from Israil Madrimov because I think it's important for you all to hear what Israil Madrimov had to say. And it's interesting because I actually had to double back a few times to really make sure I was hearing what I heard from Israil Madrimov. And the individual that was actually interviewing Israil Madrimov, I don't think he picked up on what he was saying. And it would have been interesting if he had some follow-up questions for a little bit of clarity. But I'm going to play this clip real quick and let you guys hear what Israil Madrimov had to say. And Madrimov seems to be pretty confident. Let me play this clip.
What he does wrong or whatever. Obviously, we have some things that we've been watching. We're not going to talk about it right now. But also with a lot of fighters, I believe that they're losing before even stepping into the ring. You know, they're already kind of like on the downside.
Ooh. Already kind of on the downside. Now, those are some strong words from Israil Madrimov. Already on the downside. Let's think about this. We have heard many people, mostly Errol Spence supporters, and some who were not, that basically said that Errol didn't look like he was the same fighter, that he looked like he was drained. We've heard them talk about Sean Porter and how Sean Porter had one foot out the door, thinking about retirement when he fought Terence Crawford. And Israil Madrimov is basically saying that when you think about what he just said there. Now, that was his translator saying it. That wasn't Madrimov. That was his translator. But still, his translator was relaying the message from Israil Madrimov. I found that to be fascinating because he believes, like a lot of other people believe, that Terence Crawford's opponents were not up to snuff for whatever reason, whether that was dehydration or whatever. They were on the quote-unquote downside and that they were beaten before they even got into the ring. Now, later on in this interview, he actually talks about Canelo. They asked him about Canelo and would he be interested. And he said it's about time for people to start talking about Madrimov versus Canelo versus Terence Crawford versus Canelo, which was interesting in showing that he has a level of confidence going into this fight that many may not be aware of. Now, I enjoyed this from Israil Madrimov. I think, he's showing confidence in himself. Will that confidence materialize? I don't know. But I do like the spicy talk. I do like the little smirks and things as he's interviewed or as he's being interviewed. And I think he got a little spice to him. I think he got a little kick to him. He is talking about, and he also mentioned this in his interview, that he's fighting for his whole country, that he got a whole country on his back, what that will mean for him to come and be successful in Los Angeles on August 3rd, live from the BMO Riyadh season. I gotta promote the fight too. People think I hate Terence Crawford, but I don't. I'm promoting this fight just as much as Terence Crawford is promoting this fight. So you guys make sure you go buy it. But he has a whole country on his back, and the motivation associated with that and the determination to actually be successful is at an all-time high for Israil Madrimov. This is his Olympics. This is his NBA Finals. This is his Super Bowl. And if he is able to be successful, he becomes the greatest fighter out of his country. He also gets the opportunity, more than likely, to move up in weight and challenge somebody like Canelo Alvarez. At least he can make the argument that he should be. So Israil Madrimov is going to be highly, highly dedicated and motivated going into this fight. But not only that, he is highly confident. Will it translate to a win? I have absolutely no idea. But what I can tell you is this, and you guys heard me break down Israil Madrimov in some recent videos that we've had. I still feel the same way. I think Madrimov is a bit slow. I think sometimes he gets out of position when he's doing some of his fancy footwork. Sometimes when shots are coming at him, he kind of just goes into a ball, like Tim Bradley says or said, and doesn't necessarily catch and shoot. But he's surprisingly good at counterpunching with pull counters and slip counters. He's pretty good at that. He takes unorthodox angles as he's attacking. So those are all things that could be beneficial or detrimental to him going into this fight. Now, I have predicted that this fight is going to be tougher than what people think. I never, ever give a final prediction until the weigh-in, because I like to see how guys look up there. Do face look sunk in? Do he look dehydrated? Is he running for water? Does he look energetic, or does he look lethargic? I want to know all of these different things before I actually say who I believe is going to win. But this is a fight that's becoming more intriguing. I wish Israil Madrimov spoke English so he could say some of these things in English without a translator. But, you know, it's interesting what he's saying, and he's confident. He's just as confident in himself as Eddie Hearn is in him. So I know some Crawford fans are going to be pissed off about this. They're going to say, "Oh, Greg, you're reading into it or making up some." I don't know, because they always come with some foolishness. That's why I always play the video so you can hear the audio. But that's what he said. And there was no follow-up to that where he clarified it or tried to make it seem like it was something else. He basically said that a lot of those guys come into the ring already beaten or on the downside. And I interpret that on the downside means on the downside of their career. You know, on the other side of their peak, if you will. So that's what I understood him to mean. If you think it means something else, let me know in the comments section. I'm open to suggestions. Now, I think that's all I'm going to cover in this video. We will be doing follow-up videos in regards to this particular topic. The topic is Terence Crawford versus Israil Madrimov, because, hey, we're doing our part to promote the fight. So make sure you guys go buy the fight, $79.99. And make sure you hate, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, peace.